This is a video about controlled opposition and how it's a stumbling block that a lot of people probably never get over, but it's one that people fall for time and time again. They'll follow somebody thinking that they're being genuine, but really this is a perfect example of a wolf in sheep's clothing. There's an entire class of people out there that know they're brought up into a system where they're taught hidden truths about this place, and they're gatekeepers. Gatekeeping, it's like in my last video I mentioned how the term gaslighting, which gets thrown around all the time now, certain things, they couldn't keep the cat in the bag for everything once the internet was out. And certain terms are terms that have probably existed for a long time, but they're terms that are very essential to the way that the Matrix operates, the Baphomet satanic system, the deception. The Bible talks about great deception. This is a part of that. And deceived and being deceived. The people who are on the higher levels, it's the same way with Masonry. A lot of times there's like reflections of society within itself. It's like a fractal. The higher levels have fun duping the levels right below them, and each time they get to a new level, they think that, oh, I know everything now, but these people aren't special. Anyways, the term gatekeeping is very similar to gaslighting in that there's a reason that these terms are brought up all the time now, and it's because it is a big aspect of this world. You have been gaslit since birth by, could be people like your parents, your siblings, certainly the governments, and the education system, and everything on the TV. How many people were told by their grandparents, oh yeah, everything on the TV is fake? That's wisdom speaking there. And yeah, the TV is a big gaslighting, gatekeeping operation. And to finish the thought, there are very often gatekeepers, people who are controlled opposition. Oftentimes they'll give you a little nugget of truth and then string you along for years, never really expanding on that original idea, throwing you in all sorts of odd directions, and then at the end they'll go to Shanghai and request a bunch of donations and you'll never hear from them again. Something like that. So that's a general overview. I have some specifics pertaining to Christianity. I just want to hit these topics, and that'll be it for this video, because it really pisses me off that these people exist, but it's biblical. Wolves in sheep's clothing. You're gonna have people out there that pretend to be sympathetic to the cause, but they're really not. They're an agent. I'll get to agents in a second, because that comes up when I get to flat earth stuff. I just have a little story about that. So this first one, it is really hot right now, and I do think that, so let me put it in the Christian frame of reference, and also controlled opposition when it comes to climate change. So there are 100%, I'm certain of this, that there's people out there that are not being sincere in their anti-climate change outcry. Oftentimes you'll often just see them made fun of, like, oh, look at that, the anti-climate change person saying these ridiculous things. Very often that's like the most obvious to spot, surface level, troll level, basically, controlled opposition. Just the people who pretend to be sympathetic to a cause and just do the most outlandish things that it's not even believable. And we'll see examples of that. There are a lot of dumb people out there, but when they're in the spotlight and doing things or having arguments that are obviously not researched and just ridiculous, they're just a clown on the world stage. These people do whatever. They don't have any strong convictions. They're actors at the end of the day. They're getting paid money to act a certain way, and they're paid money to act a fool a lot of times. Especially, let me just show you how easy this is to happen. Wow, we have this agenda. We have an agenda where we want to make anybody who denies what the TV says about climate change, anybody who denies the talking point is going to be made a fool. So we're going to prop this person up, and we're going to make sure that their argument is totally nuts. Happened with vaccines. I'm glad that this popped into my mind because I don't have any slides on this. It's people like Jenny McCarthy. Jenny McCarthy probably knows that vaccines are poison, but she can't just talk plainly like that. But she will be hired in order to act insane. Not so. It may even be like a humiliation ritual for this character. Oh, you're not gonna... Jenny McCarthy could have had children and then decided to not vaccinate her children, and she could have been given this contract. Well, then you're gonna have to act insane, and because what that ends up doing, right? Jenny McCarthy ends up like promoting vaccines in that way. They're using Jenny McCarthy to promote vaccines by making anti-vaccine people seem ludicrous. And they're actors, they're porn stars, whatever. Porn inverts. Nobody should be listening to them to begin with, but it's an acting gig. There is a purpose behind it, and it's controlled opposition. Okay. To bring it back to climate change and the Christian thing. Why do most the climate change deniers who are Christian have just stupid arguments? They don't have good arguments. So I think that the biggest reason is that the entire media is totally controlled, and they don't let people with good arguments that go against the New World Order, they don't let them on TV. So people just have to get past this, I only get my information from a trusted, what is trusted? People really do think that information has to come from a source outside of themselves. That's something that the education system just wrongly teaches people, that they have to watch a video that tells them something in order to have truth. Anyways, I've already gone on so many tangents. I got lost there. So I just need to look at this and go through my slides. Why aren't any Christian people out there having the good argument, the obvious argument, the biblical argument of, I don't have a problem with climate change. That's what I say. I have similar views now about the whole transgender thing. When you learn about the 4 types of people, the whole trans phenomenon makes so much more sense. And instead of coming from a quote-unquote Christian's perspective where you're just screeching about, oh, trans people are evil, if you just talk plainly about it and you say, hey, I know why so many trans people exist today, and maybe they're not totally insane, and maybe there's something to do with their skeleton, and blah, blah, blah. They would never let sensible arguments be known to the public. You have to search really hard to find original people that aren't gatekeepers or controlled opposition today. So yeah, the climate change, to bring it back to climate change, where are the Christians that know that the sun getting brighter isn't a part of end times? That it's in the Bible multiple times. Revelation talks about one of the seals opening up. When one of the seals are open in Revelation, the sun gets power to scorch people. Why are those not the arguments that are presented on the world stage? We get just nothing but people coming up with stupid arguments and then being mocked. If that ever, I guess a point that I want to make, if you ever see that, because it actually becomes a way that you can find truth a little faster, when you see things getting unnecessarily mocked, or you see ideas where you're like, why is this bozo up there on the TV defending this idea? That guy is an idiot. He couldn't tie his shoelaces. Why is he up there defending creationism? And that should give you a little hint. Well, okay, why do they got to set the bozo up there to be that side? It's because it's controlled opposition. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's not even somebody who wants to prove creationism. It's somebody who wants to prove evolution by being a bozo and pretending to be into creationism. Anyways, I think I've said the gist of my argument. Everybody should have better arguments, but the problem is that the people on the world stage and the biggest YouTube channels and etc., 99 times out of 100, you're dealing with a controlled opposition gatekeeper. They may lure you in with something shiny, but I doubt that there will be evolution of thought. You'll start to feel like you're seeing reruns very quickly. I think I've said everything that I need to say. I just want to go through some examples, I guess, now. Flat earther. Before I forget about it, I'll tell my somewhat personal story. Some of you may even know this if you've been following me since the beginning. Okay, who remembers Bo Peep with John Humanity? Now, Bo Peep, when John Humanity left, Bo Peep left, and then right after that, Flat Earth just exploded, and there were people that just got big out of nowhere. If any, that's another indication that you're dealing with a gatekeeper/agent. People that just get big out of nowhere. If you look at the videos, nowadays YouTube really tries to obscure. Recently, they got rid of the feature where you could look at the oldest video, but now they brought it back. I don't know, they were just testing it out or something. But anyways, maybe you guys know what I mean when you look at a YouTube channel and you can tell something smells fishy, things don't seem organic. The real human beings on YouTube, it's a slow, steady process of getting subs. You don't, boom, get 20,000 subs in a day. But that happens to agent channels or shills or gatekeepers. Anyways, Bo Peep, to bring it back to Bo Peep, even though most of you will have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just giving a specific example of an agent. This person was working on a conspiracy channel, and then they popped up, somebody with the exact same voice popped up doing flat earth videos, and they were buddy with the other big flat earth videos. It's like these people are all logged into Skype with each other, and they know it's like they're working for agencies. They are agents. So the thing about this Bo Peep thing, she became Carly Sunshine, the flat earth channel. And I just knew immediately because the voice was very, very distinct voice. And what I thought was hilarious about this Carly Sunshine character is Carly Sunshine eventually went on to make a video called, like, I'm an agent. And that's something that these people will do too, will admit what they are. And it's a type of karmic release. They think that now it's your fault. They've come clean and told you that they're an agent now, and so it's your fault for following and listening to what they're talking about. Anyways, no, I'm not trying to trash Carly Sunshine at all. Very low level, obviously. You can tell that there's different levels of these people, because comparing some low-level agent like Carly Sunshine to people like Mark Sargent or Pat Steer or this bozo, there's different levels. You live in a society that the class system is very much still alive, whether or not people talk about it or not. A lot of it has to do with your skeleton, and yeah, a girl is a gun. This one, what do you know? What do you know? Some posh Amazonian-looking person who can just run a clothing store. Have you ever wondered, how do these people even pay rent? People that own place, they're just on a different level than you. It's a big club, and you're not in it. But the thing is that it's a big club. There's a lot of these people. They're the people that do this. Who does this? Who can own a boutique shop, a boutique clothing store? Even that right there. Who even does that? How is that even a profitable business? Anyways, and then goes on to be some, like, illuminated, obviously, individual in the flat earth community, where it's all about the looks. It's all about the looks with these people a lot of times. Anyways, a lot of fun with this one. Yeah, you get a lot of bad arguments for evolution or against evolution, and I don't believe them. That's the people with the bad arguments. I don't believe them. I don't believe that you're really a Christian. I think that you're a clown. I think that you're controlled opposition. I don't think that that's a good argument at all, and I think it's written that way on purpose. I think that they're clowns. Anyways, controlled opposition is something everybody should know about. Good arguments against evolution are, hey, have you ever considered that gorillas are just people in suits and not, like, real animals? Because it's kind of shady, the whole history of gorillas. They were allegedly discovered like 200 years ago. The old suits are worse than the new suits. Anyways, that's a good argument against evolution. You get the clowns. This is clown freak show. Hey, dinosaurs. I hate these ones even more. The people, It makes me angry. The people that try to unite the two. Hey, dinosaurs aren't that bad. Humans were with them in the Bible. Instead of just calling it out for the BS that it is. I have particular dislike for somebody in my past, my astronomy teacher, because he would pull this BS all the time in astronomy. He would be teaching the fake NASA stuff, but he would try to say, oh, but it was like perfect, because he was a crypto Jew, most likely, and ahead of the Christian club. That's another indication of controlled opposition, when a crypto Jew, somebody who is Jewish, but they're not going to tell you, they'll pretend to be Christian or something else, is running a Christian organization. It's really a Jew in disguise running a Christian organization. Talk about wolf in sheep's clothing. But this guy was also a wolf in sheep's clothing in that he would present sciencey NASA BS, which of course doesn't follow the scientific method. It's not science. It's pop science. There's no difference between NASA stuff that you learn in school and opening up a sci-fi book. Literally no difference. Anyways, this guy, he would present the information, but try to twist it to be like Christian apologetic. And it rubbed me the wrong way back then, but for the wrong reason, for what I thought at the time was the wrong reason. But I think that we have these vibes, we have these we have an ability to detect spiritual things. And I could tell that there was evil in the way that he would twist the NASA stuff to try to prove the Bible. Back then, I thought it was evil of him to twist science to try to prove the Bible. Or not evil, but I believe that is what was making me feel gross inside. Now, today, I know that the evil that was going on was he was trying to twist something that's not true and trying to make it glorify God. That happens all the time. You hear Christians talk about, spew all the same BS. Oh, the moon is a reflection of the... Where does it say in the Bible that the moon is a reflection of the sun's light? I don't see that. Anyways, how many more slides do I have? Earth is spinning faster. Where are the people coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, Jesus told us about that. Jesus told us that days would be shortened. Well, a big part has to do with people reading bad translations of the Bible. Many, many modern translations of the Bible translate that prophecy from Jesus Christ. You would think that they would be very careful about the words that they choose when translating prophecy from Jesus Christ, but they totally change what you would think. They change the days will be shortened to the days will be cut short, and that totally changes the way that you would interpret that. That's why I think that's a big reason why a lot of people haven't woken up to the time moving more quickly. Okay, they need to realize, first of all, they need to undo some programming. Time moving more quickly, that's not really what you think it is. It's just that days are shorter than what they used to be, and all of our clocks run off of the sun. Who knows how a watch works with the magic crystal that oscillates? Okay, it automatically does it based off of the sun cycle. That's my understanding. So when the days get shorter, time moves more quickly. I think that there's been eras in times past. You know, all the YouTube videos about giant trees and stuff. I think that those were eras when the days were really, really, really long. And if you know about growing, when a lot of commercial growing conditions, you can put plants in 24-hour sunlight for long periods of time. It doesn't kill a plant to have 24-hour sunlight. So imagine these eras. If you were alive in the 90s and you remember how slow the days were in the 90s compared to now, just keep tracking back. Imagine days that were just a snail's pace compared to even the 90s. And that's probably the eras when the trees were giant. I'll end here. False flag operation, controlled opposition, know your enemy, be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. Jesus told us that. And you don't live here on a spinny ball. Nope. And just make sure that's it. Yeah, that's the end of this video. God bless everyone.